Wednesday, 3rd of January, 2024. How cool is that? So, how to climb a mountain? So, like most things, training, patience, resilience, endurance, energy, performance, you name it, usual stuff. Very important. We need strength, very important. But also understand one interesting cognitive bias by watching this video: survivorship bias. What worked for me won't necessarily work for you, but you want to have the principles well founded and understood with a lot of clarity. So it takes training. You wouldn't just go from no training and no experience with mountains going straight to, let's exaggerate, Everest. No, that's ludicrous. Gently, bit by bit. The tallest mountain in the UK, Nevis, 1,300 or 400 meters. Very nice. So you start off with a smaller mountain. You would do, say, Snowdon, 1,000 meters. You do a Scafell Pike at 900. Fair enough, straightforward. But even then, you wouldn't go to those mountains. You'd build up. You would say, do like the Wrekin in Shropshire, 400 meters. Easy stuff. You work your way up, step by step, bit by bit. You work your way up, powerful. You don't go straight into the deep end. Very important. So you do training. Small mountains first. If you can do this mountain, you can do that mountain. If you can do that mountain, you can do this one. If you can do that, you can do this, and so on and so forth. The principle is very sound. But let's expand the logic and raise the stakes. Then you could say, we need to do a special kind of training. Ideally, resistance training, and you could say, well, cardio, of course, but especially resistance training, and maybe calisthenics, maybe. But resistance training at least. And I would say, this is what I did, so again, survivorship bias. What I did was, I was training for Nevis, so I had on my backpack, 7 or 9 or 12 kilograms extra weight. And then I was doing the treadmill for 1.4 kilometers, highest gradient walking. And then I was doing step machine, 1,000 steps. Perfect. Good resistance training exercise right there. Because what is a mountain? Basically walking uphill. And if you can do that for kilometers and kilometers, and you've got weights in your bag, on your back here, because that's what a mountain is basically. You're simulating the mountain within reason. That's it. That's half the battle done right there. Resistance training. And then you could say lunges as well. Backpack, extra weight, so resistance training, 5, 7, 9, 12 kilograms of weight, and lunges. Barbell lunges or dumbbell lunges, yes. Basically, you want to work the legs. Very important. The legs, fundamental, because they are carrying you literally up the mountain. So you're going to do a lot of resistance training for the legs. Very important. And then you could say calisthenics, because I'm planning to do some calisthenics for the next few mountains. Calisthenics more for the flexibility, I'd say, and the adaptability, because you're going to find all kinds of routes and rocky paths and whatever else on the mountain, if you do so desire. Now again, survivorship bias. I've not done that, calisthenics, before, but I've climbed mountains before. Okay, so I'm willing to experiment and test. Now, you take it step by step. You also have to understand the mountain itself. You want to know as much as you can about the route you're taking, and keep the route and options open for weather. So you want to learn as much as you can about the route, so know what you're going to face, know what you're up against. I can tell you from experience, depending which route you take up Snowdon, it's generally easy one. Scafell Pike, certainly the path I took both times, starts off easy but gets really hard near the end, quite dangerous, the rocks and whatever else. Rocky, unstable, if you've got bad weather, problems. And Nevis, easy. Couldn't believe it, easy. Although when I was there, and this is why you have to know the route, when I was there in April, there was snow. There was a little bit of snow near the top. Snowing for 10 minutes and there was some snow. No, I was in June, in June there was snow. So understand what you're up against. If you know what you're up against, no problems. So if there's going to be snow, if there's going to be weather, rain, you name it, know what you're up against. Which is why it's important also to keep your options open as to which day you climb. So what I like to do is, what I did with Scafell Pike, the tallest mountain in England, I arrived at my accommodation on a Monday, and I was leaving on a Friday. So that gave me 3 full days of different days of weather to choose from. I'll look at the weather forecast, okay? you then got more options. I chose the Wednesday in the end. It was cloudy, decent weather, very much like this now, I'd say, very much like this. The day after was very sunny, so, not bad. But by keeping options open, then we have more choices with regards to what kind of weather we want to face, what we want to tackle. Now, I had loads of options, therefore I was able to pick and choose when I climbed. Now, I chose Wednesday because I was going to leave on the Friday, so I wanted to rest on Thursday. Fair enough. But keep options open. So I'm planning to go to Ireland. I want to spend at least 3 or 4 days per place. I'm going to climb 2 mountains. I want to spend a few days in each one to see what the weather is at the time. Because if you just say, I'm going to climb on this day, on this particular day, nothing wrong with that. Do what you want, you're an adult. But then that means you're stuck with the weather on that day. But if you say, I'm going to arrive on the Monday, leave on the Friday, you then got a few days of weather to choose from. Perfect. Very important. That's powerful. More choices, very important. So exercise, very important. Know the route, keep your options open. Your resistance training, your options open. And I feel there's one more thing. Now, in my training, I didn't use like these little energy gels. I didn't use them, nor did I use them for Snowdon or Scafell Pike. But when I went up Ben Nevis, I got some energy gel for free beforehand, by chance, and I thought I'd save this, and I used it for the mountain. Perfect. That helps. I mean, like, I wouldn't actively train with that energy gel stuff. If you can climb, if you can do the routine, you know, the 1.4 kilometer, the resistance training, and the step machine, 1,000 steps, without the energy stuff, without the, I don't know what they're called, the gel, let's say, energy gel, fine, great. Because that way you can physically do it. You can do it without. It's just icing on the cake. Also, luggage, equipment. Basically all you need for the mountain: boots, warm clothes, food. You don't really need much, I'd say. You can travel quite light. You could bring swimming trunks, because the chances are there's somewhere to swim, which is always fun. Just fun. Part of the adventure. There's not much you need, and because there's something for fire, maybe like a matches or something. But food, water, 2 liters. But even then, you can just bring an empty water bottle, because on the mountain there's probably going to be streams, fresh, clean water, mountain water. Perfect. You don't really need bottles of water. Just bring the bottle. By all means, why not both? Food, naturally. Protein, naturally, yeah. Some carbs and some sugary stuff, yeah, naturally, because you're going to be burning hundreds of calories getting to the top and then getting back down again, yeah. A map, very important. I used to have this GPS device, but I realised that the map on my phone was sufficient, so I didn't really need it. That's pretty useful. The map, device, power banks, very important. You don't want to get lost, very important. 2 of those, I'd say 2 power banks, the more the merrier. Generally keep it lightweight but warm, very important. Now, other important thing to understand is when to leave, when to go, when to start climbing. Now, this is why I like the summer, not the winter, because in the summer, sunrise is basically 4, 5, 6 a.m, depending on when, but 4, 5, 6 a.m, nice. Sunset is going to be 8, 9, 10 p.m. Nice, perfect. We have more than 12 hours, give or take, 12 hours of sun, very important. Because that way then we know what time sunset is, so we know when we have to be back, very important. And 2, if you start climbing just before sunrise, it's only going to get brighter. You're really maximizing your daylight. The important thing is to have as much light as possible. We don't really want to be walking in the dark. By all means, can if you want. If you want to go camping, hiking, you're an adult. Make your own mind. But I prefer not to be walking in the dark. Just in general, it's not very fun. I can't get nice photos then, can I? That's what I mean. So I like the idea of getting up early, and this is what I did for Scafell Pike. Sunrise was 7 a.m. I started climbing 6:30 or something. Perfect. I was back down the mountain by 3 p.m. Perfect. Sunset was, who knows, 7 p.m. I guess 7 p.m. This is October. So yeah, and I did that before before daylight saving, so I was maximizing my hours as well. Very important. I prefer to start early, and then I don't really have to worry too much about how long it takes me. If it takes 3-4 hours, that's fine. 3-4 hours down, that's fine. And there's still an hour or two of sun. Perfect. So you want to have as much sun as possible. We don't want to be fumbling around in the dark. That's not very fun. You can't take nice photos then, and you might trip. Yeah, that's not very fun, is it? We don't want to be tripping, we want to be climbing. Okay, fair enough. And bit by bit, I'd say no real rush. One of the trick also is if there's a lot of people there, and this is Ben Nevis, this was my experience. I just picked a route. I didn't really think too much about it, and by chance there was a lot of people going up and down the mountain. I got up early, so there's a lot of people going up, and if I was lost, okay, all I had to do was wait for someone else to come the opposite direction, and the chances are he's going down the mountain, so therefore he came from the summit, so therefore go where he just came from. Fair enough. Now also, there are these piles of rocks. These piles of rocks that denote the path to take. Just if you can see the next pile of rock, go to it. Simple as that. I forgot what they're called. Cairns, I think. Cairns. Follow them. Very important. Perfect. You can't get lost there. And this is also why you want a map with you. Now, I used to have this GPS handheld device, and I was able to put waypoints down every now and then. So, or in theory, on my way back, I'll just follow the waypoints. Now, on the built-in map I have on the iPhone, I'm able to see where I am in real time, and even with the thing, the map, download. I was able to see where I am, and I'm able to see the route itself. So position myself correctly, get the right bearings, and just go that direction. Perfect. Also, another interesting thing is on Google Maps, I recommend downloading the map, offline download, so that way when you have no reception, you can still navigate the map. It doesn't need a GPS location. It doesn't need a reception to work. Perfect. That's extremely important. Even getting there, even like in Scotland or Wales, in nature, basically, you want to have offline map. So that way the map always works, no matter the weather, no matter where you are, no matter the mountains, no matter how high you are, it knows where you are. Perfect. That's incredibly important. That way you don't get lost. Fair enough. I recommend that. And knowing much as you can about the place. I'd say that's largely everything. Training, exercise, routine, usual stuff, persistence, dedication, whatever else. Working towards it. You can't really go wrong, really. Lightweight, warm but lightweight, plenty of water, food, torches if you do so desire, fire if you do so desire. Thick shoes, new swimming trunks because there might be a chance to swim. There's a chance to swim on Scafell Pike, yeah, and Ben Nevis, quite surprisingly. Change of clothes, dry shirt, dry socks, usual stuff. Power banks, yeah. Plenty of options, plenty of days to choose from. Yeah, you can't really go wrong. And then the question then would be, which mountain next? So, the more the merrier, really. Why not? It's all part of the adventure. You want plenty of sun. You've got to know when sunset is. That way you know when your deadline is, so to speak. Yeah, things like that, Take it from there. So, otherwise, you will see me tomorrow.